Couple of heats of the New South Wales Breeders' Challenge heads to Bathurst on Wednesday night. Two set aside for the 2-year-old colts and geldings, one for the 2-year-old fillies. As you would expect, being a Bathurst meeting, there's plenty of horses going around with either Turnbull or Hewitt next to its name. Mitch Turnbull's been kind enough to join me to discuss the prospects of his father's horses on that particular night and also some of his outside drives. Well, Mitch, drivers are coming off the track tonight with some nice facials.
Yeah, it's a bit sticky out there. Had a massive storm on the way here, but it's clear now, so it's good.
Times have been good.
Yeah, that's right. They're still running. That track, when they get their massive storms, it just seems to get harder and harder, so it's pretty good.
Well, Mitch, let's have a look at the first race. You're taking the reins here behind Smooth Buzz, coming a very solid second behind Our Sunset Delight. Drew the inside of the second row on that occasion.
Yeah, that's right, and it took me a bit to drag him off, but he was lucky to get on the favourites back and had a nice trail after that. The track was real heavy, but they still got home in 27.8, so I was actually quite excited with how he went. So going into next Wednesday, I'm hoping he'll run a good race.
And the good draw, a big bonus.
Yeah, that's right. Hopefully, if he gets the front, it'll be good, but if not, he might be able to get good sit up close and keep him relaxed and get the speed out of him.
Mitch, Sportsline all goes around with Steve's name next to him. Blake Micallef takes a drive, coming off some moderate efforts.
Yeah, he's just been getting pushed against the hard horses, like good fields every time he's been in this time. Probably losing a bit of confidence, but if he can got a good draw, lob a good spot, hopefully he'll be able to keep up and do a good job.
In the second, London Legs goes around, defeated Baxter Red last time out. You gave Baxter Red every possible hope, but Amanda had the 1-1 and London Legs just a little bit too strong.
Yeah, in that race I felt sweet around the corner and I looked around and seen one coming, and when I seen it was London Legs, I knew I was in trouble because she'd been working so well and I knew I'd done a bit of work, but we had a good fight at the line and she was able to pick me up, so hopefully this time I'll be able to be the other way around.
The hurdle here, Mitch, is you've drawn the outside in 8.
Yeah, well the last few weeks he's come out of 7 over the long distance, so he's still got that task in front of him, but if I can just hunt him out and get a good spot up the front end, probably maybe even the front, he should run a pretty true race, I reckon.
In the third, you've got Steve and Amanda combining on this particular occasion with Oliveri. Went to the paddock with a win and resumed with a safely held effort, finishing 4th behind 7.
Yeah, she's only a little filly, but she's doing well. When she had her first start up the back, she thought she was going to drop out. Then when they straightened for home, she took off and ran a good race, so Amanda gets along good with her. I think she drew midfield, so she'll be able to lob a handy and see what happens.
In race 4, you're combining with your dad here with Desirable, very consistent performer.
Yeah, the other night, the last few weeks I've been going back on her and they've been sprinting home. Last week I thought I want to get her up the front end. I was lucky enough to get at the front over the long distance, and this week it's a short distance, I think. So if I can just hunt her out again and get a good spot up front, she's pretty consistent and always keeps fighting the line, so see what happens.
Mitch, you produced one of those perfect all-the-way wins with Mr. Manager. It goes around in race 5. That was a vastly improved effort in scoring.
Yeah, the first start we were a bit disappointed when he just lobbed the death, but he was in quite a good field and Dad said he was over racing, whereas the other night he was the other way, he was quite relaxed and he got it pretty cheap, but when he had to sprint for about 600 metres sharp, that's what he done, and hopefully he can give that on Wednesday night.
Josh has engaged you to drive just one more in race 6, coming off a safely held 7th behind Tulhurst Terror.
Yeah, it seems to be not quite as hard a field as this week, so if he can lob in and keep up, he should put in a good sprint.
Both these runners have drawn the back row in race 7 here with Shannara Star and Bandito. Amanda's driving Shannara Star. You take the reins behind Bandito.
Yeah, I like Shannara Star. She's a good little sit sprinter and she ran good about 2 weeks ago. And then Bandito, he's just getting better each run and more relaxed. Hopefully this draw can suit him if he can get a nice spot and pull out and go for him.
Little Popcorn was the victor on that particular occasion. You drive Little Popcorn in the last for Josh.
Yeah, it's good. There's only 6 in it, so hopefully they'll have a good spot, not too far away. And if he can sprint like he did last week, hopefully he should put in a good race.
Mitch, what do you think's the best of them?
I really like Smooth Buzz. I think he's a nice horse, and as you've seen last week, he put in a good performance. So if he gets a safe trip, I'll go for him.
And as per usual, racing at Bathurst has been extremely competitive.
Yeah, that's right. I've been pretty fortunate lately to get a lot of good drives off Dad and be able to keep up, but it is easy to have a tough period because there's always good horses in it.
Always good to get drives off Dad. He knows what he's talking about with over 4,000 winners.
Yeah, that's right. Well, however he's put me on, I won't be complaining, but doing a few miles around and all that, but been getting a few placings and the odd winner, so it's been pretty sweet for us.
Mitch, thanks for your time.
Thanks, mate.